Welcome, adventurers, to the TavernTails channel. Today we're joined by Maetrim of Cannith, the brilliant mind behind the DDOBuilder, the character planner that's become an essential tool for players in the MMO Dungeons & Dragons Online. Recorded live on November 16th, 2025, we'll dive into the story behind the planner, walk through creating a character, and dig deep into this cornerstone of DDO gameplay. This show is the second show, just kind of focus a little more instructional, a little more stuff. And one of the big tools that I know can really enhance your ability to play this game is using an offline planner. And the one that I'm the most familiar with, and the person I'm most familiar with, because, here he is, amazing guy that agreed to do this with us, is Maetrim and his planner. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity today to talk about it. Talk about where to get it, how to download it, basic how to use it, and then maybe answer any Q&A that anybody from a new player to a seasoned veteran, that's the word I used in the text, could talk about it. So
there's also a lot of nuance about how to do things and things which people get stuck on occasionally, so we can try and cover all that information as well.
Yeah, and so here's my selfish bit, is that's me. I like to think that, I know all this stuff and I'm good at it, and I'm the streamer. I should know it all. I stumble on things a lot too. I worked in IT for, not on the coding side. I think coding is the only job in development, software development is the only job I've never done in IT. Everything else from, backup tape ape to data center designer to database administrator, all that stuff, I've been in that role. And now I'm in an IT audit role, so I guess I'm making this circuit. I'll have to be a developer at least once before I quit or whatever, so I can make all the rounds. But yeah, this is the only thing I haven't done. So usually I can figure things out, but I do know, and this is always the issue with software when you have something that does pretty much everything. And I mean,
I try to cover everything that the game can do.
Yes.
The only thing that's not properly implemented yet is the DPS meter, which is partially developed, but
cool.
It's difficult.
All right.
So I put it on the back burner for a while I let my brain figure it out in the background.
Wow. So I'm just curious, how did you get started? What is your background, and how did you get started on building this tool?
Well, originally, I've always been interested in computers since a very young age. So I started out on a Dragon 32 computer, if you know of it.
I don't.
It was like equivalent to an Acorn computer at the time. This is about the VIC-20 days and the Spectrum days. Mm-hmm. And from there, I went to a BBC microcomputer and then onto an Atari ST. And it was about that time I went to university to study computer science, and I wrote entire games in assembly language while I was there.
Wow.
But from that, I got a job at a company that produces analytical instrumentation for the pharmaceutical industry. And so I ended up doing robotics, experimentation and titration and stuff. So I learned an awful lot of chemistry in the process. And I've basically been in the same job for 32 years. So I've developed about 8 to 9 different instruments over that time.
Wow.
And, but in the meantime, outside projects, I sort of semi-volunteered to help support Ron's original character planner. And so I downloaded the code from GitHub, and I was having a look at it, and I thought, can do better than this, because the tool is a product of its time, so, and it had a lot of people working on it, so it was, I try not to be bad about saying what the quality was not what I would have expected, so I thought I can do better than this, so I basically just decided to try and write my own one.
And I'm sure it was very well documented too, right? The one you found.
Well, the other one had loads and loads of data in it. So basically, I cribbed the original data that he started with for things like Feats and stuff like that. Uh-huh. But I had to build everything else up from scratch. So that's been all the enhancement trees and stuff I had to build from scratch. And I had to come up with a way to handle them all. And that was quite an interesting project, to be honest. And it's always been sort of semi-interesting, at least right the way through the entire process. Yeah. So I sort of originally got into it, and then I asked Cordovan if I could publish it, and they said I could. So it went out to everybody else from there, and I've been trying to keep it up to date ever since, because the game moves on quickly.
Well, yeah. Yes, it does. Let me get my. Just realized my camera's not working. Here he is. Not that anybody wants to see me, but I really am live and not, not a bot. But all right. So I linked the page out there in chat for those that aren't familiar with it. This is a long and awesome DDO thread that kind of goes through all different variations. But basically, I know you update the main page that links to, the current release, and if you just click that link, you'll pull up the build page, and down here you'll see the zip code, which
Latest
is
release notes, things like that.
Yeah, and the release notes and so on. I'm just going to walk through the download. We're going to go ahead and download it. As you can see, I already tested the download earlier. That's why I get that little 1 behind it. Show it in my
much quicker than my downloads.
Okay. Show it in my downloads here. So basically, it's going to come in as one zip file, and there's not really any installation, right? You just put it in a folder, and it's ready to
extract into a folder. The only thing I would say is, if you're upgrading from version to version, put it into the same folder, and it will carry over your settings from the previous go. That's the only thing that I would recommend that people do.
Okay,
so if you've got a preferred layout, that information will be carried over between installations.
Or if you're like me and you screwed your layout beyond control, sometimes I open up in a new folder and then just start over. You can show me how to fix that in a second too, hopefully. But yes. So basically, I'm just picking a folder to do it, to extract it in. Gonna create that if you can't find it. Okay. And then here we go.
An update button in the builder itself. I thought about this, but it's a pain in the butt to do, and it also makes it dangerous, because if it's doing a network connection of some sort, going to places to get stuff, it opens up possible exploits, and I'd rather have it on the user to get the updates rather than me to try and get the updates, because it's a bit of a grey area, really, in security wise.
You see, maybe you were even answering that. I just wasn't paying attention. Sukai's question about getting an update button in the planner. Like I said, let them go get it.
There's also I'd have to figure out what the changes are and how to get it. So then you'd have to replace the executable on fly, and it's not. I sort of did something for a product at work a bit like that a long time ago, but it's sort of a live update kind of thing is not really a nice way to go. I think I'd rather keep it as it's like Windows updating on you. So I keep saying put it off, and then one day it just says, "Oh, I'm doing this," and you go, "No, I had a stable system. Please leave me alone."
Or like, is this what happened? As a side note, this would happen to me today. I'm ready to go. We're up early. I'm logging in, and I had a Windows update pending that basically broke something, so I had to reboot before the stream. So that's, if you're wondering why I was a few minutes late, wasn't Maetrim's fault. It was mine. He was super early and
10 minutes early.
Well, all right. Okay, so here's the folder I put it in. This DDO builder, I renamed this one to test. That was the one I just installed to make sure it worked. So if you open that folder, you'll see there's just a DDO builder exe. I have been known to drag that down to my bar. You see I've already got one here.
Shortcut key.
Yep. Unpin that so I can easily find it. And if you'll notice, the icon is a backward, the backwards A. So it's the opposite of your DDO stream one. So
yeah, it's just the DDO executable icon reversed. Yes.
All right, so we'll load that.
Looks a bit like a B, so it's great for a builder.
Oh, that's good. I never noticed that. That's awesome. See, I've already learned one thing. Okay, now you're going to get this always with Windows. If you just got to know went for a run anyway. It'll pull that up. Your Windows you may have less security settings. I've worked in security so long. I'm paranoid, so I have usually everything turned on to prompt me. So, all right. So we have
So the
this.
first time you run the program, you get this default layout that's hidden away in the the default.ini file. And if you ever restore your layout is as an option in, I think, which menu is it in settings? So in the view menu, there's a reset screen layout option, and that will go to this layout by default because it basically loads the same one from the default.ini file that's in the folder. So if you were to rename your DDOBuilder.ini file to the default.ini, then save it. That would become your new default layout. But unfortunately, the default.ini file is overwritten on each new installation, so you'd have to keep a backup copy of it.
There you go. I was just closing things to see if I can break it. Okay, is this still? I'm still looking at the default. I guess is the.
Well, your build things on the left. You've moved your build. Your build pane has disappeared on the left-hand side.
Yeah. What did I do?
Maybe it's still there, but it's got a width of 0. I'd go to the very left and see if you can drag the left-hand side of the window across. Do you get a left or right arrow?
I do, but I go to the other screen. So.
Okay, so it's probably not. It's probably not hidden there. Has it been switched off? It's the pile of bricks symbol on the left-hand side of your toolbar, but just under the word edit, I think. Yeah, that should make it pop, show, or hide.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
It's been.
All right, I don't know how I did that, but it doesn't surprise me. Okay.
Yes. So if you hold it by the title bar, you see that little icon on the left-hand side, halfway down. If you're clicking and holding it, it'll have a little arrow pointing to the left on it. If you click and hold the title bar, and if you drag your mouse down to that,
cool.
It will dock it. It shows you where it's going to try and dock it. So you have to have the mouse around about the area of the docking symbol. So if you grab it, if to grab it again, you can actually hover it over an existing window, and it will dock it in with that window. The only one it doesn't work with is the one with your attributes and stuff like that in it. All the other windows can be docked on top of each other, and you get the little tabs underneath where, like you've got the class and levels, spells and skills, and gear and filigrees option. So you can see all the. You can switch between them as tabs.
Yeah, I've got multiple people asking me when we can see a dark mode.
There is sort of a partial dark mode that I started implementing, but it's difficult. So if you go into view, you've got application look, and there's a dark style option in the list. So if you just click dark style,
there we go.
So some of the windows obey dark style and some of them don't.
Got it. So we have all sorts of styles here.
I generally use the blue style myself, but that's just me.
Okay, well, we're going to use the blue. They're just there, but yeah, so you could change that a little bit. All right, so one thing, this stuff's here, I think is pretty straightforward, but what I see here is with the character builds. So I assume you have to somehow, if you have multiple past lives, you have to put those in first before you start building your character. Is that?
Yes, I mean you can. There's a past lives and special feats pane, which lists all of those. I don't know where you've got that hidden away on yours.
Well, I move stuff and then I Okay, there. Well, there it is.
There he is. Okay, so you've got basically all the different class symbols that go across on that pane. So if, for example, you had a single fighter class life, you could just click on the fighter one, and it would increment from 0 to 1, and vice versa. They should be in alphabetical order. Yeah, so you give yourself a fighter past life, and by doing that, if you look on the main pane, it's now gone to a 34-point build because you've got one past life.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
and if
And
you go to at least 2 past lives, it goes to 36 automatically. So
I
you
see.
can't
That's
select
cool.
34 or 36, but you can switch between 28 and 32 based on whether you're a normal adventurer or an experienced adventurer with a past life option.
And then there's your racial, your iconic, your epic past lives. Wow.
Hmm.
Now these inherent, I guess these are where if you've got like tomes or whatever, or how
Inherent
does
terms, yes. So these are like the special tomes that you can get for like fate points, universal action points, like melee power, those kind of things. So each one of a certain maximum number, and you click on them to assign them all.
okay. And then you can also mark your favorite rewards as you
Yes,
gain that. I guess this is probably
ideally I
more
want.
for. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, but the thing is, some favourable rewards actually grant you things like hit points and skill bonuses and things like that. So that would affect the overall totals. So it's worth keeping access to them. They can also give you access to enhancement trees as well. So the builder will sort of say you have access to this if you've got this level of favour.
Okay, like yeah, like House Candace one.
Yes,
Go to
or if
two,
you
and you've got the Artificer class there too.
yep.
Okay, now I guess to that same point, if I've purchased any additional trees, like I've got the let's say I've
Yes.
got the
So
Harper tree or whatever.
yes. So I mean, you can enable it through doing the favor, but if you're going to the enhancement trees directly, I think that's like the third one across in the window you were just in.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So you've got the little options underneath to say, yeah, I've got access to these special trees, and you can just turn them on directly, and then they become a selectable option in the drop lists for tree selection. So if you went to the drop down lists next, you should see all of those are now currently available. So the one that says no selection, the blue focused control. So those are now available in the list. So you could then select those trees and then spend points into them.
Excellent. So so now here's my creation. I'm going to start creating a character.
We just go back to the past lives and special feats
Sure.
view very quickly. The only thing that we didn't really cover here is you might find I've got a triple completionist character and I don't want to click on every single racial past life. So if you click on the word racial with a left click or heroic, it will add one of everything to it.
Oh wow.
And so you can do it really quick. And you
So
can also
this is
do
for
a
you.
right click. Yes, so you can do a right click to get rid of the one from everything. So you could see the
Wow.
difference between. Yeah, so you don't want to click on every single one multiple times. So you just click on the name once and it does it all for you.
So this is also cool because, like, for me, I'm working on my racials, and I've got everything except for my Dampier, so I could just right click and backtrack those out too. So that works well. I like
Yeah,
that.
so you could assign all of them, then just undo the Dampier one, and you'd be done.
Oh, that's cool. Very nice. Okay, anything else before I jump ahead? Because obviously that was
In that particular screen, that's really the only main shortcut that's sort of available.
okay. Well, we haven't talked about epic destinies yet. I guess if you've got Reaper points, those can be added.
Yes, but the hit point bonus will only apply based on your level. So it will calculate the total hit points, but when it adds them to the total hit points for your current level, if you're like level 4, it won't give you any Reaper hit points because you can't spend any Reaper points yet. So they are sort of level gated in the trees. So if you were working on a level 4 build, I think you might. Is it level 4 that you can first spend Reaper points?
Yes.
If you change the build level to level 3, it wouldn't let you spend any Reaper points.
Ah. So is that changing level? Is that just up in
Yeah. So you can do it directly. So that in the build plane it says build level 34 at the very top. It's in the middle there. So you could switch that to level 3, or you can click on that and then you can choose the level directly that you want to plan at. So now, you as you see, everything's switched off in the Reaper trees because you're not high enough level to spend those points.
Very cool. What, level 10, I think? Yeah. Very cool. I didn't know that.
So yeah, it tries
Two
to
things
mirror the
I've learned
game
already.
as best as possible.
That's awesome. Okay, so I've created test guy here. Let's make him a half orc, 'cause that's like a half orc name. He's chaotic neutral. We're just gonna throw some points in there, and then it gives you the cost wherever as you go along. So I've got a 36-point build clicked, and I've got 10 build points left. Oh, he's beautiful. So we'll have to up this. I'm just making things up as I go along. Don't, by the way, don't follow my builds on this because it won't. Yeah, I'm playing. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Okay,
I've
so
still got to set to level 10. So,
yeah, so it's only allowing you to select the 4 and 8 level upgrades, but yeah.
okay. And then whatever my level upgrade, I noticed like I want to do all strength. It already defaulted that, but that's cool. I mean, I guess because that's the first one. And then if I have any tomes,
You can set the tomes directly next to the ability.
yeah.
You can say everything's +8. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm a wannabe whale, so I'll do my +8.
Yeah.
All right. So then, I guess it's not a bad point to save these along the way, right?
Yeah.
In case I screw up
In
beyond.
theory, if the builder doesn't crash, you're good forever. But it does occasionally. It doesn't. I've tried to get rid of all crashes as much as possible, but they get reported occasionally. Certain circumstances can cause them to happen.
Well, I mean, anything could happen. Power could go off or anything. I mean, there's a million things. Okay. So from here, if you were doing this, would recommend to people, is this where we would probably start setting our feats or our skills or either one of those?
Well, you probably want to select a class for
Oh yeah,
trying
probably
to
want to
work
do
out
that.
your
Yeah.
class layout.
Let's do. So we said fighter. Let's make him a fighter. Actually, let's.
So there's another shortcut way of doing it without actually selecting it from the menu. The first time you can just click on a class on the question mark under in one of the class locations, and then you can select it directly.
Like here.
Yeah. Well, if you previously hadn't got any class at all, you could have actually on the level 1 question mark. You could have just clicked on there, and then it pops up the menu regardless. So yeah. So if you were to click there, you just get this automatically coming up.
Very cool. Very cool. And then if I want to change any of these, let's say I'm going to take, I don't know, a level of, or just make something up silly.
To select a different class, you probably need to actually select it at the top first. Can you actually?
Okay.
Actually, no. If you just click on an empty square, it will give you a class selection option. So yes, you say what it is. And then because it's already got a class selected, you can just say, hey, this one's a rogue, this one's a whatever.
Don't die again. Don't make this build, people. It would be horrible. But and then if
no class at all is Jack Dragon. Yes, yeah. I can't comment because I don't know you personally.
Then we're gonna take a level cleric just because. Okay. Cool. So you've set your classes, and then from there, I guess our feats is.
Yes. So you could go to the feats next. You can choose them in any order. So you could do the high level feats first or whatever. But if you were to select something like something later down and then select it again earlier, it will revoke the ones that effectively say, "Oh, that would be a duplicate." So if, for example, at level 18, you were to say, "Hey, I've got athletics or whatever," and then you took that at level 1 instead, the one at level 18 would be taken away because you wouldn't be able to select it later on.
Okay. So one of the things that I have found this is just me, I will sometimes right click on them because I'm thinking I'm gonna look at it, and somehow I've managed to hide these. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, right clicking on a feat will basically just says I'm not interested in showing this at all. Seeing this in the future, just hide it from me. You can choose to show the hidden items to get them back. There's a little option in the toolbar. It looks like an exclamation point, which you can toggle on. It's just next. It's that's the one. If you click that, then if you go back to feat selection, it will show pretty much everything. And if you hover over the one you accidentally got rid of, it will say this feat is currently in your ignore list, and you can right click on it and and to restore it. So you can get them back.
Good deal. Yeah, because that's what I do. So because I'm thinking, I'm going to read it. I'm just so used to right clicking to get extra information, even though you show it right here. But and then I accidentally hide it, and then I'm looking for it later. So yeah, I usually turn that part on because me. My bonus feed, yeah, we're going to sunder folks. All right, anything special on this that I need to I've missed? Or
I mean, it does do some autofills for you if the conditions are right. So if, for example, you are a class like a warlock, and when you base your certain selections would be like your packed spells and stuff later on. But those are based off the pack that you selected at level 1. So if you select, for example, Fey Pact, it will fill in all with the Fey spell options automatically for you from that point onwards for the warlock levels.
This is a really terrible build, by the way. I've just played. So
yeah, you have to get enough warlock levels to actually get those options to appear now.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah, beguiling defense, pack save bonus.
And you see they're being auto-filled for you automatically because this is what you'd be forced to select in game.
Very cool. Very cool. And we've got there I can pick my warlock spells.
Yes. So as you pick any spellcasting class, you'd get a spellcasting tab appear in the spells and SLAs option. So if you were like a warlock, wizard, cleric, you'd have four tabs because you'd have the spells and SLAs, warlocks, clerics, and all the individual class spells options.
All right, I'm gonna skip gear for a moment. And then down here we've got our now obviously I've added a bunch of classes, so
you need to go to the enhancement tree because that's the Reaper trees.
Yeah, this Reaper tree. I noticed that after I was saying so. Yeah, so then they're all my options.
And because you've got such a large selection of classes, it auto-filled these trees originally by your first class selection. But because you've had other classes after, you might have to go click on the down arrows to get a list of the ones that are actually available to choose from. Now, you might actually be thinking, Tainted Scholar is my main tree that I want, so I want this on the left. And instead of like unselecting the tree in the one you've got and then going to the other one and unselecting it there, you can grab it by its icon. So if you left click on the warlock icon in the Tainted Scholar tree and then drag it to your left on top of that one, you can drop it on there and it will reorder the trees for you. It's the same as it does the same as that you can do that in game as well to reorder your trees there as well. So we've sort of mirrored that functionality, so you can order all the trees in the order that you want.
Very cool. Very cool. I knew that was in game. That's cool that it's here too, because I will admit to the fact that I have turned them off and turned them back on and to get them to where I wanted to. So I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, just a quick reordering option.
And then you've of course we've got other things, your skills tree here. So I was going to build my skills for this amazing build that I've been working on.
So you can see the various colors there. So red skill with the red background basis is you can't buy this at this level because you're not allowed. It's a skill you're not allowed to choose.
Okay.
If it's green, it's a class skill, and if it's white, it's a cross-class skill.
Okay. And then the white and gray just to
you can click where you want,
right? Yeah.
But you might be saying, actually, I want to use intimidate. So if you clicked on the word intimidate on the left-hand side, it will try and max that skill out for you.
Excellent.
So it will spend it all. And if you want to get I don't want to spend any points, and if you right-click the name, it will throw everything out of that skill and revoke them all for you.
Okay. Well, swim is where I want to start, so we got to get that swim skill up, right?
Yep.
So later on, when I take skill focus swim sugs, it'll be, I'll have that maximized out. Um, cool. And then it'll just try to fill in your other
Yeah,
spots
you
based
can do it
on.
yourself, or you can just click on the auto spend or auto spend in the corner of the screen there,
Yeah.
auto buy, and in the very top left of the window there's an auto buy, and I've written an algorithm where based on your classes it will highlight the skills in certain
Wow.
orders for you, and then it will say, okay, you probably want this one, and this one first. Normally I just hit auto buy myself, then revoke any skills that I don't want and spend them elsewhere. So you can get there pretty quick. So if you were a rogue, for example, it would prioritize search, spot, disabled device, and open lock, and then from there it would be you might find that if you've got spellcasting skills classes, you get spellcraft, heal for clerics, that kind of thing being put into the list. So it'll make decisions for you. If, for example, you're in the process of leveling up in game, if you were to click on the number above, so it goes the actual level at the very top. So if you are currently going to level 8,
Here?
so
Okay, yeah.
So no, actually no. If in the actual skills control, if you click on the number there, it will highlight that row. So if you actually clicked on the number 8 there,
Okay.
that will highlight that row. So it's easier to, if you're glancing from screen to screen, you can actually see which skills you wanted to be looking for. So you could, without having to look constantly go, oh, it's this one, it's this one. So it's highlighting that particular column for you for a given level.
Cool. And yeah, I'm too dumb to get many skills with my int 6. I'm not going to be learning a lot along the way. So
yeah, so yeah, for a half orc, you probably don't really care. But if you're in the process, if you are a high skill class, and you say, actually, I need to be spending points in this class, this skill, this skill, this skill, this would highlight and say, oh, I'm currently spending like 2 in this one, 3 in this one, 4 in that one, or whatever. And so you can actually see which ones are going to, without if you weren't following it off a sheet of paper or equivalent.
and you see what I did here, guys. While I went ahead and just changed my skills on the fly, my int on the fly, and you see it changed my skill points available down here too. So
yes, it's all calculated. So you could actually spend skill points for 18 intelligence, reduce your intelligence, and then it'll go, oh, well,
yeah,
I don't know which skills to revoke. And so you'd end up with lots of negative numbers. Then the numbers
there
spent,
I see it. Yeah,
yeah. So you could see overspent in those particular columns.
very cool.
You can also do your tomes here. So you could click on the individual tomes. If you've picked up a skill tome for a disabled device, you could click on that particular entry in the tome column for the disabled device to give yourself a tome.
Where's the?
So you've got the little tome
Oh, the
symbol on the
tone.
right
I
hand
see.
side.
I see. Okay.
So
Ah.
if you were to click on the individual ones, then you can set them individually. But you might be a case of I was a whale and I got a +4 skill tome for every single one. You can just click on the tome at the top, and it will increment all of them. Fairly sure it was the tome symbol, and a right click would reduce them.
Very cool.
I'm trying that here actually. Why isn't it not working on mine?
Mine it does it on the text, but didn't do it on the picture.
That's possibly a bug. I seem to have managed to lock my one up here. Oh, it's come back. Yes, it is on the symbol that you need to do it.
Okay. Cool.
And you see the total in the right hand side, but that total includes any gear and ability bonuses and stuff, so you can see what you'd actually be reaching. So if you, for example, would equip an intimidate item, gave you +20 intimidate, then your intimidate score would go up by 20 here as well. So you can see how your skills would be in the total, and that would be the same number that you see in the breakdowns on the right hand side.
Cool. All right. So at this point in time, I guess we just start our leveling process of picking out what we what we want. Now, I'm sorry, I won't ask you. Is there anything else I need to know before I got talk moving on?
We sort of haven't really looked at all the individual screens. I mean, you briefly looked at spells. We haven't really looked at the stances screen yet.
Okay.
So
Where
that's in the bottom left at the
okay.
moment, at the bottom.
All right.
So this shows you various stances. So you might have stances available based off your past lives. For example, if you've got various epic feats, you'll be able to select your epic past life stances, and you'd also be able to select the iconic past life stances. The auto ones are always on, and those are filtered down to what's active for your character. But if you've got other ones coming in, you can then see which ones are which.
Okay, so I just turned a bunch of them on.
So that they appear dynamically as and when they're available, and you can choose which of those stances you want. Mutual exclusivity is enforced. So, for example, your arcane past life stances, you can only have one of the two that you've got available. So if you're switching one off and the other one, it will switch it. So it automatically enforces the mutual exclusivity of those for you. In theory, all of these work correctly, but there's a chance like power attack and defensive fighting and various combinations of those may not work properly because they're quite complicated in game as to how and when they're mutually exclusive.
Very cool. What's what power?
But these affect various things. So if, for example, you're playing your character in Reaper mode, there's a Reaper option just to the left of your mouse, which you can toggle Reaper mode on and off, which would affect things like the application of the Reaper trees to your abilities and hit points and things. So you can see what your totals would be in Reaper.
Oops. I'm so pretty. We have to have charisma. Let me do some of these.
Recent additions that have been to this is also on these trees that because there's the first selection of effects following on selections, that it will automatically select those on for you later.
Okay, so now I can turn Reaper on and off.
Yes, and you'd see your hit point breakdown change. So if you go to the breakdowns into physical breakdowns on the right hand side,
okay,
there's a little drop list that says physical breakdowns.
Yes,
and there's hit points in there, and you should see that
cool.
Total, if you toggle Reaper on and off, the total will update based off whether you're in Reaper mode or not.
Very cool. And like my PRR and MRR and those are
those have been your defensive breakdowns. So under physical breakdowns, there's defensive breakdowns, and you should find the PRR and MRR underneath those.
Okay. Like if I turn my Reaper off and on, it changes my PRR from 3 to 0, which is great for a fighter, by the way. 3, anything more than 3, you don't. No, I'm just kidding. You don't need that. That's extra. All right, and then I saved it. One of the things that I guess before we go on, I do want to ask about importing the old versions too, because maybe some gotchas there. Because I have lots of things. I have a ton of builds created in version 1, and but before we do that, is there anything else here I need to you want to point out or highlight or?
So currently you've got the single build. What if you wanted to do a variation of this build?
Okay.
So you've got yourself set up at this point, and you say, yeah, but I want to see what it'd be like if it's slightly different. You could click on the very left-hand side at the top. There's the add build option.
Okay.
If you were to click that, it will make a copy of the current build, and you end up with a second copy immediately underneath it, and you could then change it to be how you want it to be. So you can have multiple versions of the same build in the same file. And you can say, actually, if I wasn't that, I was pure fighter.
Yeah.
So you can do the variations, and you'd have your different spends in your enhancement trees, possibly different gear layouts, etc.
That is.
And you can also have completely different character builds in this. So if you were to import from a version 1, you'd end up with a new build at the very top list, and then you could have variations of that build as well.
Okay. Well, let me do that just to see. So I'm going to import a V1 because I've got, like I said, I've got a bunch. You can see I've got a bunch of these, including strange little characters I created in hardcore that I never used more than once, and sometimes not then. Yeah, I'll try.
Is there a way to import a single build from a different file? There's a way to export a particular build from a single file as a separate file, and then you could import it, I think.
Let me open this up just to see. Okay, and then it tells me I was using an old Battle Engineer tree.
Yes.
So I assume I wouldn't want to use the old version of it. I would probably, unless...
I think, depending on how far back it goes, I might support both side by side, depending on the version of the tree. So you'd have the old tree and the new tree next to each other.
I'll try and see if it's got it there. I'm going to guess this does it because this is a really old build. But we'll see. This is a test. Yeah, I think I broke it.
It looks like it's revoked everything that was in the Battle Engineer tree because it's no longer available. But it's tried to bring across the best of the information that it could. A lot of the stuff is not completely compatible between the old trees and new trees because I changed names and things, I think, because stuff is recognized by the actual text in the title. So for a selection, if you got like +1 charisma, that won't have changed. Whereas if it was like Slay Living and it got changed from auto death in the game to Slay Living, then I have to put in like an adapter level within the import code to say, if you encounter this, bring it in as this. And I've covered most of the cases, but not all of the cases. What's the best way to report bugs? The number of ways I actually get it is I get tells in game from people to say, hey, you've got this problem, and I add it to my list that way. You can also go to the GitHub repository and put it in there, or you can put them in the main thread for the builder in the forums. So
yeah, the link above is the main thread in the forum. That's where the information about where to download this stuff and information's there. And then
you can post directly into that, and I pick them up from there. If you go to GitHub, there's the issues section. If you can see, there's currently 22 issues next to it. So if you click on there, you can get a list of all the things that currently reported, and you can create a new issue. And I will pick these up and fix them from here.
Yeah. Just sign this, okay. Cool. So probably in game, it's probably unless it's probably the least likely game.
If I'm in the middle of a raid, it makes it difficult to respond. But yeah.
And if you look at this thread, folks, you see there's 38 pages, so there's lots of commentary and questions and bugs floating between there. So, and suggestions.
Yes.
And so do you?
Very first release of the version 2 that goes back to, but I think there's like 40 odd pages in the version 1 thread, and all the bug fixes from that effectively carried over into this one. Very
cool. Here's my question. When you said it was an interesting project in your spare time, I was like, what is this spare time you speak of? Cool. All right, and then we've imported this build, and the same thing, if I want to play with it, I can just do an add build here. And
yes, you just click another add build and do a variant of it. It thinks about it for a second or two because it has to reapply all the enhancements and stuff for the new version. Did it actually do it, or did it just cancel the pop-up menu the first time you did it?
I don't know. Let me see.
Oh, there we go. There it is.
So
there's other windows that we haven't quite looked at. You've got the log window there. That's there really for me as a developer. It pops up automatically every time and annoys all the users. but you don't need to show the log window at all. If you're not interested in doing development. There's the notes window, which is underneath the log window at the moment as a tab. You can basically just type in notes about your character. So if you click on there, you can just put in any free format text and it will. So for example, you could explain what you're trying to aim with the build, because if you shared the build file with somebody, they've got that information there, so you can just type in whatever you want into there.
Okay, and then this, I guess the other thing is this forum expert for what I've seen. I've used this quite a bit to share builds, just kind of as a how to build it. And then you can just add and remove the stuff you want. Like I don't have gear on the build, so I could take that off.
Yes. You can also reorder the sections that are there. So you've got move up, move down options on the left-hand side. So you can reorder the sections to how you want. So that would move up in the list and move it down the list for the output. And the output changes dynamically. Now, currently, you're seeing the forum BB code option, but there's also as a text option. So you can change it to just straight text, and it gives you the text version of it. And just by coming to the screen and pressing done, copy to clipboard, it's available on the clipboard to paste into whatever document that you want. So the BB code stuff, if pasted directly into a forum post, should format the data in a way that's nice and presentable for you.
So there was copied and pasted. So there we go.
So you did it in the text format, so it's converted all the BB code tables to equivalent tables of ASCII and things.
That's pretty cool.
I've obviously got a bug because I've got an HR/HR that needs to be removed from those text output. It's not. I haven't quite caught everything in the conversion code.
Again, in all that spare time, that we were talking about earlier, that's
yeah. I've obviously start adding those to my bug lists.
All right. Yeah, Raver. Good morning. Yeah, the link above that I've pinned up above is the link to the DDOBuilder forum post, and then that links you to downloading the tool and stuff. And this will be posted both on DDO Stream, and then I'll post it also on my YouTube channel afterwards, so that if you have any questions or want to review, you can certainly pop back in. So
we've got another question. If an ability is bugged in game, do I leave it bugged in the builder? Well, generally, I try and make the builder as accurate to the game as possible. So I may leave it bugged, but I would have a note in it saying that it is bugged. For example, if an enhancement didn't actually give you what it says it does, I might actually have the text. It gives you what it should do, but it will have text saying that the game actually only gives you this. I may or may not put the bugged values or bugged effects in, depending on what it is. If it's something they could easily fix, like a number goes from 2 to 3, then I'd put the right number in and maybe mention that it's currently giving you the wrong value.
Cool. So we have any other questions? I guess before I've been kind of hogging this whole thing. I guess as the interviewer, that's kind of my job. But I don't want to skip anything. If you all have questions too out there. Now we haven't really talked about gear yet. Maybe we ought to talk about that too, if there's no other questions. And
one of the hardest areas of the entire builder.
I figured as much. So let's look at gear. Where do I find
gear and filigrees? It's underneath
I see. Okay.
Classes.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine this is challenging. So see, okay, this is a good one because this one actually had some gear in it, and I think I loaded it whatever my actual gear I had on that character at the time. So I wasn't planning anything. I just wanted to see where we were at accurately. So okay, so let's say I want to add, I'm doing the build and I want to look for what the best bracers would be. So I guess just walk me through this, how about the tool, and then I'll just.
There's a couple of ways of doing it. You can if you were planning to select a lot of items, then I'd go for the Find Gear button in the middle, which shows you gear for all the individual slots simultaneously, not weapons or things. It's just for the all the other gear slot positions. And then, for example, you might want to limit to say, "Oh, I'm looking for assassinate items," and you could just type assassinate in the search text.
And I remember how to spell assassinate.
A double S.
Yeah,
enough.
That's what I'd look. I was thinking about. I should have made it something like spot. That would have been easier.
Yeah. So anything that's got those that text in it, whether it's in the flavor text or in the name of the item or one of the effects in the item, would pop up in the list. It is also currently limited to a certain number of items within a level range. I think you've got it set to level 10 in the bottom left. Show items only within 10 levels, I think, at the moment. So the higher that number is, the more. So if you've got a level 34 character within 10 levels, it would show gear from level 24 to 34 available to you. But the bigger that number is, the slower the builder will be because it's showing so many more items. So generally speaking, I normally have it set to 5. You might also say, this character is never going to raid, so I can say exclude raid items from the list. If you were to click on that, all raid items would then disappear from the list as well. And you can also exclude artifacts, because you might say, I've already filled an artifact slot on my build, and I don't want to replace that. So if I exclude artifacts, then it cuts down the list even more for you.
Excellent.
So you've got various filter options. If you once you've found an item you want to equip, you can click on it and say equip item, and then it will add it to your build. And you can keep this dialog open, and then you could say, now I'm looking for something with PRR, for example. And so you could just change the text to PRR, and hopefully it will list your items which have got physical resistance rate for you.
Awesome.
So in this way, you can do multiple items. Now, if you have selected an item, you could then say, "Oh, this is what I'm going to put in the augment slots," and things like that. The augment slots might be a specialized list depending on whether it's a craftable item or not. So if, for example, you had a Lemordia item selected, you'd have things like the Melancholic, the Dolorous, and things like that slots available with their specific type of augments that can go into those.
Trying to think of a Lemordia. If I will search for that. Nope. I got to spell it correctly first. There's only one M. Okay.
I don't know if they ever have the word Lemordia in them, to be honest.
They may not. I know there's Dolores, but I don't know if I can spell that again.
Can you do Ice Walkers? Just search for the word Ice Walker or something like that. That should give you a pair of boots that.
Separate word.
Is that Ice Walk? Unfortunately, it's such a small. Can't quite read the text. Just all one word, Ice Walk.
Oh, my problem is I only have a level 30 character.
So yes, they're not showing up. So yeah,
so I mean,
check the level to 34, and they should turn. You have to close the dialog first to do that.
Okay. If I remember this, search find gear.
Yes, button middle. So actually, you've got pretty much all the stuff at the top there is Lemordia items. So you click on any of those.
Legendary Ice Walkers. Okay. So there you've got the Melancholic.
So you've got the you've got the specific things that can go into those craftable slots, and those that you can get. You can select the relevant ones that you're interested in. So you've got that. So this effectively treats the special augment slots of items like that as a named augment slot. So you've also got your green, colorless, moon, sun augment. So my program treats them all as the same thing, basically. But each augment says I'm compatible with slot types of green, yellow, and X or whatever, and you just put them into the list, and then they'll show up when you hit the drop down.
I'm just picking things, and if you got a Reaper boost on it. Oh, and even curses are on it. Cool.
Yep.
Wow.
So you can apply deck curses. And then you once again you'd hit equip item, and you're good to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
So as I say, the find gear works across all the accessory slots, not the weapon slots. Deliberately, because there's so many weapons, it slows down the find gear screen too much. So if you want to go for a particular weapon, you'd have to click on the slot directly, and then select what you want.
Okay, and then
when you're happy with it, you just say okay. I'm surprised it's letting you select a rune arm, but then you are an artificer.
I have
this time,
artificer
are you?
too. Yeah,
Yes,
I've got artificer
you
too.
are. Okay. Yep. Lovely.
Yeah. Well, cool.
So the other thing that the gear window also lets you select are your filigrees. So you've got them available. That you've got 5 filigrees already selected. But if you notice, two of them are set to rare, and two of them are not. So underneath the filigree, you got the word rare. So if you actually click on the word rare, you can toggle the rare state of the filigrees to say I've got the version that gives me the extra bonus. So you could toggle the rare state of it. Other than that, it's basically the individual bonus on the filigree that you're toggling in. When you're selecting them, if you click on an artifact empty slot, you get a menu pop up to show you what the filigree your selection is, and then you can filter based off which they are. And a recent addition was this: as you go over the drop menu, it will tell you the set bonuses of the individual ones that you're looking at. So there should be a tooltip that appears that shows that.
Okay, on these?
It doesn't do it for raid filigrees because they unfortunately I can't do it for but it will do it for those ones. For the main sets, but a technology issue basically means I can't show a tooltip based off. I can't tell when you're selecting a sub item of an individual thing when the menu pops up. I spent hours trying to get it to work, and I couldn't get it to work in the end. But I can get it to work at the top level for the group selections. So I was able to pop up those tooltips for those. And then when you select it, it'll pop in and fill it in, and then you can change its rare state backwards and forwards, etc.
Very cool. Now, this snapshot gear set, so you can save these sets? Is that how this works? Or
yes, so you might have a case where in game you switch to a gear set and say, I then do my what's it called? I can never remember the name they called in game. Your battle trance, when you set your battle trance going, it's based off your current attribute settings. So you get an insight bonus based off of those. And people use what's known as snapshots, where they switch to good gear to get a really good snapshot and then switch back to the regular gear that they're using. So they have a 2-minute bonus of what the values were. So what you can do is you can set up the snapshot gear set as a named gear set. And at the moment, you've only got the option of standard in the list because you've only got one gear set up here. So it would be if there is no snapshot gear set up, it just uses whatever your current gear set is. But if you were to copy the current gear set, which is the next one across, and then click the paste button next to it. So if you hit that one, the second one across, and then hit the third one across, you can paste the current gear set, give it a new name, call it my snapshot, whatever.
Test gear.
Yep. Then you can change the gear that you'd actually have in snapshot, and that way it will know what what actual insight bonuses to add into the breakdowns. So allow you to model that in game as well.
That's really cool. I like that. Plus, another thing I learned today. I didn't know that I guess it makes sense that your trance is set on what you have presently, but I never really thought about that.
You get 2 minutes based off of whatever gear set you had at that moment. So I model that in the builder by having a snapshot gear set.
Wow. Guys, have any more questions out there in chat?
Well, one of the things you can actually see is in the breakdowns on the right hand side, some of them are shown as red.
Over here, yeah.
On the very right hand side of the window, you've got like your dexterity. It says 56, and it's all written in red.
Okay.
So if you were to click on that particular one, you see at the bottom. If you were to drag the divider up so you can see everything in it, because it's currently behind your head on the display. So you've got a non-stacking effect there, which says Legendary Braces of the Hidden Blade, 13 Enhancement at the bottom of the list. So you've got multiple items equipped that give an enhancement bonus, and you might say, oh, I could change out that item to something that gives me a different bonus because I'm duplicating a non-stacking bonus here. And if it was certainly an augment, it would be like, well, I can change that augment to something else. So anything that's shown as red on the right-hand side in the breakdowns, basically you've got multiple items or effects which don't stack in it, and you might want to investigate further to find out about why they don't stack. And you could possibly, if it was an augment, you could say, well, I can change that augment to something else.
Now what I'm just doing here kind of gives me takes me to the next thing. So I've changed the way my layout looks on the screen. Does that save, or is there a way I need to save those settings, or
it's saved automatically when you close the software. And it should reload when you restart with the same layout that you last had.
And if for some reason, like I said, I've screwed it up beyond recognition, I can always just go up to view and
yes, and go reset, and you should be able to reset screen layout, and it should, in theory, go back to the default layout that I provide in the original software. It's about right, I think. Apart from the build pane has disappeared off the left-hand side again.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a bug in there. I need to go fix that.
But now I can play with my new tool that you told me about, how to set it there. So, yeah, I was wondering about that, and that was actually one of the things, because I have, like I said, I have known, but you guys are going to find this hard to believe, but I have clicked on things and lost them and not had any idea how to get them back. So,
sometimes you can drag them to 1 pixel in size, and it's like they're on the screen, but they're hidden. And I've tried to implement minimum sizes of these things, but the framework that I'm using sort of ignores them. You can set them up, but it ignores them.
That's like my kids. You have them frameworks and they ignore them. Well, cool. Okay, so
the other windows we haven't seen are things the automatic and granted feats panes.
All right, where am I looking at for those?
So you'll probably find them in the view menu. It's the easiest way to try and get them back.
Okay.
So toolbars and docking windows, there should be an automatic and granted feats. So you should be able to enable both of those. And the question is, where are they hiding?
Okay, there it is now. This is what I've generally done. I've turned them on and off, and then
Okay, so the automatic feats pane works with the class and levels pane. So if you were to just dock it to the right of the, if you click on the title and put it on the right-hand arrow of the thing that appears in the middle of the screen.
I screwed up. Oh, no, here it is. Here it is.
Yeah.
I docked it wrong, but.
Okay, so if you were to go to the class and levels view.
Okay.
And
All
as
right.
you highlight an individual level in that one, you see the automatic feats will automatically update. So it's showing you the automatic feats you get for that class at that level. So at level 13 rogue, you get one level of sneak attack, and so it's showing you the feats that get granted automatically for you at those levels.
That's very cool.
And the granted feats pane, if you've got if you bring that one up,
You have to click it twice. I think I've got it hidden somewhere. Okay.
so currently it looks like you don't have any granted feats. If you were to select have an item equipped that grants a feat, for example, something that says, "Oh, you gain proficiency with falchions," then falchion proficiency would appear in that list. If you had a epic destiny, which granted things like magical training, for example, if you went to your epic destinies, and I think you get them for draconic and the draconic trees.
Yeah,
I think you just need to, if you went to epic destinies at the bottom.
Epic Destinies. One of just any of these?
It's in the enhancement section. You're looking at epic feats, not epic destinies.
Oh, okay.
It's underneath your enhancement tree. So if you went to epic destinies.
Okay, sorry. I don't have any of those set up, I guess.
So yeah, if you enable, you have to actually say, I've claimed them. So it populates them with the ones that you've claimed first. But I think if you were clicked on Draconic Incarnation, it grants you the magical training feat for the first one. And if you say, okay, magical training is now in your granted feats list.
Yep, there it is.
Very cool. If you had things that also granted other things, like some can grant deflect arrows or evasion for things like Shadow Dancer, you'd see them appear in your granted feats list. So if you were to switch across to Shadow Dancer in one of the trees and spend enough points in it, so you have to start claiming the cores to see them properly appear. Yeah,
there we go. Like invasion, improved invasion.
Yeah.
I would say they're inactive probably because I've already got them.
So yeah. But you're gaining, because you've already got evasion, you get no fail on a 1 and things like that. So anything that's granted as a special feat that gets granted would appear in this list here. So you're actually getting magical training granted to you twice, once from Draconic Incarnation and once from Shadow Dancer. So you might say, well, I'd only need it once, but so I could possibly switch to a different destiny. Because you need magical training to use Fey Dark Illusionist. So that would allow you to select Fey Dark Illusionist in your enhancement trees now that you've got it.
You really have thought of everything, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I have to cover every single case in game.
And the ones you don't, probably the ones that you didn't cover, you get immediately somebody that says, "Hey, what about?"
Yeah. Actually, I usually get about once every 2 or 3 months of things. So it won't let me select Fey Dark Illusionist. You can select the tree, but it won't let me select the first enhancement option. And if you hover over the first option, it says requires magical training. Mm-hmm. And I say, well, have you got magical training? And they go, oh.
Yep.
So that usually happens like once a month or so.
Well, that's pretty cool. So then if this new life, I guess if I was just going to reincarnate this character?
Yes, I'd just say new life. You get a brand new character build. It would carry over the same past lives across into it, though. And then you could increment your past lives that you've gained in it.
Oh, wow.
And then go from there with a brand new build. So in effect, one file could contain every single life you ever did on a character. So you start off with your first life character with no past lives. Then you level it up. You click new life, set the past lives that you claimed on that one, and then you'd be set up as a 34 or 36 point build, depending on whether you got 1 or 2 past lives from it. And then you can create new build, new life again. and that would carry over the previous past lives. The next one, you'd increment the ones you've just claimed, and you could show the entire history of a given character of how they were.
Okay, so let's say I took another. No, I
Yeah,
got
so
rogue, artificer. There we go. So I took an artificer life, which I wouldn't have unless I respect. But I
yep.
could claim
And then
them.
when you
Okay.
click new life, the next life will keep these past lives, and you can just
Yeah, where do I click that at?
so if you just click new life in the top left corner,
Okay.
that will come in with the current past lives that your build selected has got, and then you can start putting in the new past lives for that one, or
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
yeah. And so you can track your character right the way through its entire history, basically.
Do you have that, Sukai? Do you have it tracked through all 200 and some odd? Was it 209? I don't know what the current one is.
Is it 217 or something? I can't remember
Yeah.
past lives you can have. Something like that.
Very interesting.
And there are lots of other hidden features in the builder which you will
Yes.
usually crash it or
207
tries to work properly.
Yeah, he's got 207. Well, that's awesome.
The only thing we haven't really covered is you've got these external tools for gear selection. So you've got the Gear Planner website, and there's an online and an offline version of it, which is supported by other developers.
Okay.
So there are options in my gear window. So if you've created a gear set using one of those planners, you can save either a file or copy to clipboard on those, and then you can paste them in to my gear layout to put them into your character. So you can use those tools to plan your gear, and then paste them into the builder directly, and it will try and translate their output files directly. So if you used a gear planner website to plan your DDO gear, then you can import them into the builder.
Which I.
It's a shout out to those developers who keep those working.
Okay, is this one of them? I guess is.
So I think there's an online gear planner website. Yes, so you could plan it in this, and then once it generates the output, you can actually paste that directly into DDOBuilder.
Start equipping a bunch of stuff. Okay, and then you can copy equipment to clipboard. Is that, I guess?
I don't use the site much, so there's a way to either copy it to the clipboard or save it as a file. Yeah, copy equipment to clipboard. Yeah, and if you go back to DDOBuilder, go to the what do you want to call this gear set?
I just called it test, and then if I go to
if you go to the gear,
there it is.
And there's the gear set.
Wow.
That you selected from that, and it should hopefully copy across any augments and stuff you select as well. But I'm not 100% sure how good that is.
Yeah,
I originally got it working with one example gear set and said that I'm good.
Okay, I'm with you. I mean, we tried. I'll just pick some stuff that's not too uncommon. We're testing you now.
S2, we are.
Oops. I remember which ones I put it in. I put it in the offhand weapon. Part of the
offhand weapon? You can't have an offhand weapon when you've got a staff. So you've managed to select a gear item in an offhand weapon in an external program and paste it into the build, so it knows it's there, but it's not there. That's an interesting bug.
Well, I mean, like you said, hey, this is amazing as it is. So I mean, I'm not not poking holes. That's pretty awesome.
But does it say it's actually got something in one of the slots in it?
I don't think it does. It says purple slot empty.
Which one did we put the actual gear item in?
Put 'em in
Okay, so
both.
maybe it hasn't worked to balance plus 10 properly.
Hey, but still, that's
it made it halfway.
hey, that's awesome. I'm impressed that you can cut and paste from the other side. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty cool. So, wow. Guys, any other questions? Yeah, the new staff orb weapon style, that's me. Oh, is that what it was? Was it an orb? Oh, that's what it was. No, your app is right because I just when I was ready to pick it, I picked a staff and an orb, and obviously you can't have an orb with a staff, so it won't let me equip it.
Yeah. But it knows it's there. So if you were to unequip the staff, if you right clicked on the staff, would the orb appear?
Ah, look at that. That's impressive.
Yeah, so it knew it was there but wasn't showing it.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Okay, folks. Any other questions? Yeah, I just basically what I did was I crafted it Tsukai so I could screw the orb onto the end of the staff. It's a new option there.
That would be a nice game edition. And the number of people say, "Oh, a staff and an orb together."
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's outstanding. Again, if there's no other questions, a starb, yeah, I'd be what it would be called, Jack, or I don't know, because you always see the mage with the big staff with the orb on top. I don't know, in the old fantasy paintings.
That's where it glows, doesn't it?
That's right. That's right. Okay. Troggy says he got here, so he heard about orbs getting screwed by staffs. Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, Brent. Again, that link up there on top there is where you go get the information about the builder. It's easier just to start there from the forums. Then you can link from there to GitHub and download it. And yeah, and like I said, this video is going to be on DDO Stream, I guess, forever. I found video on DDO Stream that I did 3 years ago. So it'll be there, and then it will be also exported to my YouTube channel. So awesome. A magic flail, that could work. All right. Maetrim, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. That was
You're
awesome.
Welcome. If anybody needs to contact me about bug reports, as mentioned, you can either put them in the main DDO thread, you can put them on GitHub, and if you're on the Moonsea server, you can usually send me a tell with the information, and I'll take a screenshot and I'll go through those there.
Yeah. So see, you'll notice that people have put we'll put reports in there.
Yeah, there's a couple of new reports that have come in since the last release at the very bottom of the thread, so I'll be looking at those at some point. And I've also got the balance pass for update 78, 76, 78 coming up, which I will need to doing soon.
Wow. Very impressive. And again, there's the GitHub. It'll take you to there. We said if you're on this page, the issues option will show bug reports, and you just do a new issue. You will have to connect with something to log in, but yeah, just create an account and go in. Yeah, Jack says be sure you prefer to reach out to you in raids with any bugs if they've got them. That's for me.
Usually when I'm trying to avoid getting killed by the new relentless boss, because as a melee I tend to go in and then get killed almost immediately.
Oh well.
He seems to chop through me no problem at all in about 2 hits, even though you got like 5,000 hit points.
I found a bug in that one the other day too. I guess it was a good thing. I was hoping they wouldn't raise me because my bard was dead, but all the blades were still stuck on my dead bard. And they wouldn't quit following me, so I was like, "Hey, just keep me dead, and you guys can avoid the blades from the."
That's an interesting one.
It was interesting. So, Anyway, so again, thanks again. I appreciate that. Was awesome. And get that planner, start working with it, folks, if you haven't been, because it's awesome. A big shout out to Maetrim for joining us today on the TavernTails channel, and I appreciate you watching. If you like what you saw, please click like and subscribe below, and we'll see you in game.